Good evening. It's 10:30, well, just after 10:30, 10:37, and time for Hold No Bars. We just had a few minutes delay because of the death announcements. Right, we're back with you on a Friday evening, just after 10:30 with Hold No Bars. I think most of the people I spoke with over the past, I don't know if operator can turn the echo down a bit, over the past 3 days, most of the persons I spoke with were glued to the Caribbean Court of Justice and what was transpiring there with respect to the appeal by Christopher Ram, leader of the opposition, Dr. Bar Jagdeo, and also by Zulfikar Mustafa. Those appeals went to the CCJ. Zulfikar Mustafa was appealing the decision with respect to the unilateral appointment of James Patterson as chairman of the Elections Commission, while Christopher Ram, led by his attorneys, Sanjeev Dattadin, Kamal Ramkaran, they had, Christopher Ram was Kamal Ramkaran and Devendra Kissoon, Sanjeev Dattadin for Charan Das, and for leader of the opposition, senior counsel, Mr. Mendes. And we saw the submissions by all sides, those who appealed and those who were defending the High Court decision, those two judges who ruled that a majority in the National Assembly would amount to an absolute number equaling 34. So it was interesting, those of you who watched that program, or those sessions, I would say, since it was a program, those sessions of the Caribbean Court of Justice, and you want to share your views tonight, you can do so. We can also talk this evening about what's coming up in 2 days' time. Will be May 12th. May 12th, 2015 was elections, general and regional elections, and so it would have been almost 4 years since Guyana had general and regional elections, and we've had the coalition government in place. So that was 4 years ago, and in the next 2 days we're going to be celebrating the 4th anniversary of your vote next 2 days, right? So we had general and regional elections in Guyana in incoming call. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening. Ooh, you don't see the sign, man? Look at the sign.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that, right?
That's okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Nadir. You can please tell your viewers what is the decision will take place at the CCJ of the appeal and the GCOM matter.
Mm-hmm.
The three matters take place yesterday, right?
Right.
You can please explain to me all three matters, what was the final decision of it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, good. First, there is no final decision. The judges will come back with their decisions. I want to suspect within about 2 weeks. What you saw happening on Wednesday, on Thursday, and today were the submissions by all sides. The matters that were coming up, one, Zulfikar Mustafa was appealing to the Caribbean Court of Justice through his lawyer, and that appeal was with respect to the unilateral appointment of James Patterson. Remember, after Patterson was appointed unilaterally by President Granger, we took the matter to court. And at the level of the High Court and the Court of Appeal, both ruled that the President had the authority to appoint, and they couldn't do anything about it. So Mustafa appealed that decision to the Caribbean Court of Justice. So in our level, in the judiciary, we have 4 levels. You got a magistracy. When you have civil matters and constitutional matters, it goes first to the High Court. If your matter is not resolved in your favor, then you have an opportunity to go to the Court of Appeal. Right? So the High Court literally is in Avenue of the Republic and South Road. The Court of Appeal in Kingston by the Umanayana. And if you still didn't get satisfaction, or you didn't get a ruling in your favor, you could go to the Caribbean Court of Justice as the final court to hear the matter. And that decision of the CCJ is final, if there is anything of like final, right? Okay. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Good night, sir.
Good evening.
I think all the lawyers that defended this government in that case, I think if they're not done, they're shameless and disgraceful.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I don't, one of my viewers have said to me, when I'm making my initial submission, make it and leave the call. So, to the first caller, yes. So that is the process. You go to the Caribbean Court of Appeal as the final court of adjudication. So you have that matter of the appointment of James Patterson, this chairman of the Elections Commission. That is one of the matters. The other matter was appealing this issue of what is a majority, right? Consuming that was the point being made that Charan Das was illegal and should not have been sitting in the National Assembly. And so the court is being asked to also deal with that matter. So the government position is he was illegal. In fact, one lawyer for the government said he was a usurper. A usurper is a person who comes into an organization and just take over and silence everybody and take power for himself. Usurpers could only function if they have force behind them. Usurpers. If they have some authority behind them. So Charan Das was described as a usurper by one lawyer. And of course, you had many other members of parliament who were sitting there with dual citizenship. So for the first caller, those were the issues that were discussed. As Justice Saunders said, that when he was speaking to the lawyer for Elections Commission, Mr. Marcus, he said they're going to be back and they might recall Mr. Marcus to make a submission with respect to the other 2 matters. And then Mr. Marcus said, well, he is going to be out of the jurisdiction, meaning the country, for a week. And the president of the CCJ said that we're not going to be back here with a decision before that. So one would expect maybe 2 weeks before this Caribbean Court of Justice, the 5 judges who heard the matters, come back with their decision. But what we saw over the last 3 days, those were only summaries of the larger petitions that were submitted. Because at the CCJ level, basically what you do is you have a lot of written sub. Your whole case is provided in writing. And so at the CCJ, you get an opportunity to summarize, you get an opportunity to zero in on the points you want to reinforce. And so allocations are made for oral presentation for the judges. It also gives the judges an opportunity to seek clarification on any issue you would have presented either orally or in writing. So this is what the process is, and then the judges will deliberate each separately, and then there will be a decision. So that is what happened. That is what happened over the past couple of days. So I was speaking also about the issue of the anniversary of the coalition government, the anniversary of the coalition government. And we're on the eve of the 4th anniversary of the coalition government. I think I was wrong initially. I said May the 12th. I think it was actually 2015, May the 11th. But you can please excuse me because a lot of grays are coming out. So your brains are coming through your pores. No. So I think it's, yes, May the 11th. So actually we're now 4 years. Good. And after 4 years, it's time that the government should start boasting about what they would have achieved in the last 4 years. Because you can't do much in the final year. The final year of your term is a time for going out and campaigning to convince the voter that what you have done in the last 4 years makes you deserving of another term, right? Except this government might not. The CCJ could come and say, hey, that vote of no confidence was legally, lawfully carried and should be upheld. So, we are on the eve of the 4th anniversary of the coalition government. And the parliament in the coalition government first met on June the 10th, 2015, just a month after the elections. And we see a couple of challenges. East Coast Road. That was a project that was started, yet to complete. And the big one that seems to have collected all the criticisms of this administration is the Chedijagan International Airport Expansion Program. So when the government came in, they said that, hey, this is a corrupt transaction and we are going to stop it. And they also said that a lot of things are happening here. Look, China Engineering and Machinery Corporation that's running that project was accused in Jamaica of corruption, and we're dealing with a bad company. So they went back to the drawing board and tried to redesign the project. What we're hearing now is that the project, in spite of all this re-engineering that was done, the project is far from being completed, and a lot of challenges remain. President Jagdeo has said that there were some things that weren't in the contract because it would have given our local people an opportunity to make their inputs later on. So those two of the issues that we have. Last week, and I want to touch on this, last week, one of the residents of Eccles spoke of the issue of the coca, and I did mention the fact that while the NDC is saying it's not their business, the central government, that we are called to represent people and to service the Neighborhood Democratic Council where we're elected. And so we have. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I calling concern the comment you just made
Yes.
about President Jagdeo.
Hmm.
Do he going up for the president for next election?
No, he's not.
So why you saying President Jagdeo don't count as a president anymore?
Mhm.
Right? I mean, all this party, as a young youth, I'm a mixed Guyanese.
You're a young youth.
Yeah.
I you sound so young.
For youth, so like you, Mr. Manzoor Nadir.
Oh, my boy.
Right? Jagdeo smaller than me.
Uh-huh.
Right? Mr. Ranger, Armand, Gil Teixeira, all these people are member of parliament, right?
Right.
What I sit down and see they're doing to our country,
Hmm.
they're not doing nothing for the people of Guyana.
Hmm.
They do for the people that she could invest into Guyana.
Hmm.
And, right, they sell them Guyana, heritage, and all the wealth very, very, very cheap. They sell it for next to nothing.
Okay.
All right? Good. I got a next point to make.
Go ahead.
Our country going to in a serious crisis right now.
Right.
Right? If the PPP party and the APNU party cannot come together
Hmm.
and make Guyana something better, there's no way we going.
Okay.
Because I just feel offended, concerned all the president we get in our country.
Good.
Because I'm a mixed Guyanese.
So you got three
And
issues.
I'm a Douglas, right? And every time all the president get on this radio station or the television station, they come Six Nations.
Okay. So you got three issues.
They don't come the
One.
mix.
Okay. Okay. I
They
just
don't
some.
come the mix. They don't come them as a divide, right? And not for they tell themselves that they're well educated and things that they're doing is right, right? But they got a lot of things. It's not the president himself to be blamed. It's the ministers them.
Okay. Good.
Right? And I feel if the ministers them sit down and get something act together, the country could be better.
Thanks.
Right? Look like I saw and last night I look at the news and I realized Mr. Ranger take all these
President
people
Ranger.
parliament, which big old blasted people and put them into the ministry. Which
Excuse me.
get them pension. Right? Why you gotta work and still in the government organization and you're not a member of parliament and you're in the ministry and you have a position and getting a salary? Do you rob the poor class of people? I mean, she already did done this big effort on me.
Okay. Let me just wrap up. You had four issues you raised there, right? One was why I call in President Jagdeo. Anybody who is president of this country, I will call them president,
No, you
right?
gotta call it X.
Now you could call them X. I choose to differ, and that's your right and my right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So when President Granger, yeah, no.
We gotta do it in the right manner way.
And that's the right way to do it, right?
Yeah. The
You,
right way to do
you
it.
ever hear people call?
But
Okay, I had to cut you off because it makes sense the two of us arguing. But I made this point, the very first point last week. People don't say ex-President Jimmy Carter. They don't say ex-Secretary Hillary Clinton, ex-President Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton. Once you're a minister, the tradition is you say Honorable Manzoor Nadir, right? Member of Parliament. So there are certain titles you carry. So, and to this issue of the two parties coming together, whoever wants to dream that dream, right? I'll be in the opposition. I don't like a one-party state. So whoever think that we should all come together and get the best brain, you'll end up having a one-party state. We had that before. I don't like that. I like competition 5 days. Good. That's me. And so unity, we can be civil to each other, we can understand, we can be rational, but we don't have to hug up and be in the same bed. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with Hold No Bars. Go ahead, you're on the air. Okay, so cut you off. Yeah, I got you. You're on the air.
Yeah. I don't see no harm in calling Mr. Jagdeo president because the United States are the presidents that refer them as president.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. The one party state to me is a waste of time. time, you won't have no competition, you won't have no opposition.
Thank you.
Now with Mr. Carandas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that no political party in Guyana but trust Mr. Carandas.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't invite Mr. Jagger anybody, they said was trusting the party.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Right. Good. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All the best. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
I guess that these lawyers supposed to go back to school because they can't count.
Well, we went through that in the first program. I was the majority, but go ahead, make your point again, because we heard all the arguments live and direct from Trinidad and Tobago.
They gotta go back to school because they cannot count.
Mhm.
If you count marble, you will get the extra one.
Yeah.
So my point is very short. I'll listen to the program.
Thank you. Good. So, yes, very, very nice arguments presented. Good. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. Say it as you see it.
Yes, Mr. Nadir, good night to you.
Good evening.
I think the Treasurer need to this fired the Attorney General immediately come over.
Mm-hmm.
He abolishing the government, but all the matters there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he needs to trim on the cabinet. He served no purpose as the Attorney General for Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
And for 4 years, the guy needs people punished. All race and all political party, everybody was punished for the 4 years for this coalition government.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold no bars. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, Mr. Manzoor,
Go ahead.
thank you so much for the comment that I told you about Eccles.
Go ahead.
You know, thank you so much. I met you one time at Lamoureux Park. You know Lamoureux Park?
Yeah, yeah.
And one day we're going to talk.
Great. In fact,
Thank you so much, eh?
yeah. In fact, I'll say to all the councillors, I know the leader of the opposition and the leader of the People's Progressive Party has had meetings with all the councillors because we're elected there not to rule over people, we're elected there to serve people. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Good night, Honorable Minister.
Good evening,
I'd
sir.
like to ask a question. Just tuned in, and I'm very happy to hear you, your position on the coming together.
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting because, strangely enough, after so much failure, people are now waking up to say, "Oh, let's come together and talk," as if it's a kind of a silent apology for not having it. That's one. But the
Yeah.
other thing is, I want to ask a question. Is it true that a number of ministers were at the hearing? And
Yes.
who is paying for them? And how many-
Of course, you and I had to pay for them.
Who is paying for them? I just want to know.
Very nice allowances they get, and I think it was 6 ministers that were at the hearing. You had Vice President Alicock, you had Minister Nicolette Henry, you had the new ministers, Hemraj, Halley, you had, that's 4, I'll remember the other 2 shortly. Hi, good evening, you're on the air.
Hi, good night, Mr. Manzoor.
Good evening.
How much year now we celebrating independence?
Independence. Independence was 1966, so this would be the 53rd anniversary.
So where are we there today?
Mm-hmm. Where are we today?
Where are we today? Is in square one we doing today?
No, we've gone a far way, a real far way. I wouldn't say we're in square one. We had a setback for 28 years, and then we started moving forward full throttle. But this gone ahead. It's gone ahead. Sit back and count the blessings.
Because it's like we are going like back forward, like we in some racial politician or something.
We move forward in that regard. I agree with you.
You know, because I feel that we are one people, one nation, one destiny, and we should like, if and our wherever government or whoever take a government, we should like help, support, and contribute. It's like discrimination, because nobody's not perfect. Every president, every minister, everybody makes mistakes. But we have to help them, support them, and contribute and think before we criticize and think. This country needs a lot of love, lot of sacrifice. Watch how much people, children, have sacrificed with this country here, and we didn't see like 50 years of independence where we are today.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're on the air.
You was once a minister, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but we suppose we always say that we are probably people right and all this stuff, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Okay, my point is that the thing that our present government is doing is that making tongues around the country.
Mm-hmm.
I was last week. Oh man, the people are suffering there.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the damage, how it's situated. The road is not proper.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even sit in a restaurant properly have a dinner because as soon as the vehicle comes, it's like
Sun.
the bus comes straight.
Yeah.
Sun. Come on, you make this place a town.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even been so much years. If you just now gone in.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this, to me, like I ain't see nobody doing nothing. And I'm sorry for my people in there.
Okay, pal. Thanks. Okay, talking about the hardship in Latam, let me this evening give condolences to the Abrams family. Michael Anthony Abram, a former deputy leader of the United Force, served in Parliament for over 20 years, 1972 to 1992. He has passed away, and those who know Michael Anthony Abram, the Vegas tonight in Diamond, and tomorrow at the cathedral, the Brigham Cathedral, will be service. Viewing at 9:30 to 11:30. Service starts, I think, at 11. I can check it back. But Michael Anthony Abram, Bonita, Eleanor, the wife, big daughter, Michael, Davina, Alaric, Michelle, and there are quite a few more. I can't remember. But again, our condolences. So those who were calling, you can call back. Michael Anthony Abram, former member of Parliament, has passed away, and tomorrow is the church service and funeral. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Okay, so that person wasn't ready. Yes, so we're talking about, hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You know, why them comment that I said President Barajagyu.
Uh-huh.
He is re-president, and then can send them President Ranger.
Okay, pal, thanks. Go ahead. A good friend of mine is, good evening. How things?
This thing is easier to ask. This place is very corrupt right now. No, the government is very efficient. They have no vision.
Mm-hmm.
There's one reason on it. Two, it's like you're not sure going to school, or you're shuffling in the ministry so much, you know who's a minister.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't find that within the education field, the social studies department has started dropping us now.
Mm-hmm.
No, if the president had a problem, and everybody blames the president, and they send the minister, but fire the minister.
Mm-hmm.
No, the former, the opposition leader make a comment there, and you can't really fight the way now. If they had a strong opposition back then, it would be better now.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are the comments.
Thanks. All the best. How was the west side? Okay, so caller from the west side. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. Okay, so we're not going to waste time. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hey, good night.
Good evening. Holo Bars.
We come from Rico.
Okay, Parika, go ahead.
And yeah. And I need to make a complaint, man. I don't know if it's right or wrong or whatever, right?
Go ahead. Let
But
the
this,
people.
This crimes are going on in this country,
Mhm.
right? It didn't really make no sense
Mhm.
because the minister of the police. We don't know what the guy in this country is. But every day you get in a robbery, you get in somebody come and shoot somebody, this and things like that. You know, we don't need this time for do so and things like that. We're supposed to be cooperating with everybody. The government said now that he agree with the man what he doing.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand anything like that.
Okay, so crime is the issue for the guy in Parika, but our minister has other priorities. He wants to go after the ladies of the night. Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
I was listening earlier. You made a comment concerning that we had 28 years of setback, and then we had
Yes.
we had some improvement. I want to say once there's an election
Right.
and a government loses an election,
Mm-hmm.
simply means that they were doing something wrong.
Right.
So to say that the PDP government was perfect and still lose an election,
Right.
I think that doesn't make any sense at all.
Good.
I think there has to be messing up somewhere along the line.
I agree.
Not in representation of this present administration, because I believe this present administration got its own faults, its own flaws.
Mhm.
Try. You can be a little more honest in terms of the history of Guyana. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Good. Being honest about the history of Guyana economically, the coalition government, past and present, has been disastrous. Hi, good evening. You're on the air with the big question. Sorry, hold no bars. That's the other program, the big question. Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I enjoy your program,
Thank you, sir.
and I do hope when we win this election, this trip here, y'all do the same how them carry minister to Suku. I wish for y'all do them back the same.
If there are criminal behavior in government, I back you, but I wouldn't go after any witch hunting, right? So, hold no bars. Let's hear your views. You have a right to say it. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Nadir.
And thanks for turning down the volume.
Yes, turn it down. I got a problem. I don't know if you could address it on your program.
Sure, tell me.
I'm calling from Houston, the Gas Park,
Mhm.
and within the last 2 days,
Mhm.
we had about 6 blackouts. And you know that every time you get the blackout
Mhm.
and the current come on back, your appliance is damaged.
Mhm.
And nobody is to tell you why you're getting these kind of blackouts. And everybody in this park here could tell you it's over 8 times we get blackout in 2 days. Blackout like fairy lights.
Yeah, I think today it seems to be the entire system, because in Rob Street we had it about 5 times, and the point of sale machine in the store, that computer got damaged. So all my data is all the records, we just can't restore it.
I
Yeah.
can't understand it, that nobody is to tell you that why we get in this blackout. At least they should put it on the television station, that well, you're getting this blackout because of this. Nobody's to tell you anything. No explanation.
Well, we went to Jamaica and got an expert, so maybe that's how they do it in Jamaica. Say nothing and the problem will go away. But
Yes, sir.
thanks for raising it. But today was bad.
Yes.
It was extremely bad. There was feedback. The battery for the generator blew up, all kind of thing today. And I'm telling you what happened today where I was.
Okay, sir.
Right? So we had to get a new battery because it's an automatic system. But GPL, come on. You've gotten horrible over the past couple of months.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Maybe time we revoke the visa for the Jamaican.
Oh.
Take care. Right? So, some people feel do nothing is a solution. Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Hold no
good evening,
bars.
Mr.
Go
Nair.
ahead. Go ahead.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Mubarak Ramadan. How the fasting going?
Everything okay for it?
You sure?
Yeah, man.
Good.
Okay, fourth thing. In the previous government,
Mm-hmm.
we all understand the cries of the poor class of people and so on.
Right.
The water bill and so on was a little bit lower than now.
Yes.
But presently now, the water bill that we get now,
Mm-hmm.
if you ain't got a strong heart, you fall out when you see a water bill come.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Secondly, the people talking that the two parties should work along together, never that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because we will never have opposition, and whosoever wants...
I would love that, because I can start the opposition party.
and then, if
when the present government was the opposition at the time,
Right.
if they would have cooperated with the previous government, we would have get a lot of things done in this country the right way.
Mm-hmm.
We should get a brand new airport, not a refurbished airport.
Mm-hmm.
I call the airport a refurbished.
Yeah.
Like an old airport they do back and put back there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I must congratulate the opposition lawyers there.
Mm-hmm.
For the part that I see, I must congratulate them. Thank you.
Great. Good. I thought so myself. I sent a message off to Anil this evening with congrats. He says no decision as yet, so congrats is premature, but I think the lawyers did fabulously well. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars.
Hi, good evening. I want to know who is responsible of Sario's murder.
Of which murder?
Sario's
Uh-huh. Well, I can't answer that, but clearly,
That is a very important question
yeah.
for the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
A very much important question. That murder
Mm-hmm.
has punished. You are the head of our office.
Mm-hmm.
You're a minister.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. You do not hear nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing.
That's nonsense.
That's nonsense.
It is. Well, you'd say your point. You take a minute and make your point. If you turn down your TV, I wouldn't cut you off. You see the sign here, right? But you'll get a minute to make your point, and I will make mine. Go ahead.
It's the truth.
Go ahead.
It is the truth.
Okay. Good. So I don't share your view. One was charged for that murder. Investigations were done. I think the case against the person was not successfully prosecuted. And a lot of us know who did it. It's to prove it. And a lot has happened. If you're implying what I think you're implying, I don't share your view. Okay, so back to the calls. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Hold no bars. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Good night.
Good evening.
The amount of blackout.
Speak up a bit, speak up a bit.
Blackout and the water problem we have in Guyana right now
Mm-hmm.
is not being time.
Okay, I noticed, I was in Prashad Nagar for a couple of days, and I noticed the water has a very foul smell. It seems like a lot more iron in it. And this evening, in spite of the fact I got a filtration system, the water did have a smell. Are you experiencing the same thing? Okay, the person went off. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I have two few points to make.
Go ahead.
We should be get in office. We should change it. The minister them like Minister of Home Affairs and Minister of Affairs. They got different names. Small thing come up now. They do not know that the minister them name,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And secondly, you have some empty nuts. The government need to look into that nobody occupies.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, every month the minister could come out the office and review with costing them in the area.
Okay, well, they've been coming out of late. They haven't come out for 4 years, but they're coming out now. And they've even they've come out so much, they've even come out of the country and went to Trinidad. Take care. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am a member from Eccles,
Go ahead, Eccles.
right? And in Eccles, if you look at the traffic we get on the main road,
Mm-hmm.
heading out,
Mm-hmm.
right? I still wonder why, since a young and notice early government doing a set of scrappy work, the minister's not going to take a look at the job,
Mhm.
just sign the contract, When it's any contract, they realize that, okay, I get the contract signed, I get somebody to do the job, it's not going to look at the job, to pay the money. Next thing, the quality of work is not there. It's number one. Number two, right? I still feel our country needs to work together. Because there's one God we all serve.
Okay.
Right? And if we all serve one God, all should work together for get a better Guyana.
Go
One
ahead.
people, one nation, one destiny. Right?
Good.
And if we cannot work to make our country better, there's nowhere we could get a better Guyana, right? Like how some of them go to America and say, America nice, but they don't talk how hard they work in America.
Okay, all I want to say to you is, you know, the onus on the people who should reach out is the ones in the high offices.
Yes,
They have the
when they get power and
responsibility.
in the high office, they have no time to come out there to reach nobody.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, right? Hi, good evening. If you got to turn down the TV or else I can turn you off.
What happened to every politician? What we got here right now is a white elephant we got here. And if I'm going right now in Nigeria, I have my away from the TV right now. What happened to every politician is a white elephant we got right now in Nigeria?
Okay.
And if crime is right now high in Nigeria.
Well, I just want to say policing is not just about building a station, Prakash, right? I'm not calling you, I'm calling Prakash Ramchatan. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I also want to make an absolute point.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm wondering why now that you guys in opposition, you think that you have all the solution to all the problems. It's as if in 23 years, I already mentioned about 28 years.
Yep.
If it's as in 23 years, everything went right, or everything was done right. And for 3 or 4 years, nothing was done right with this administration. I'd like to make a point, or so many points I would like to make, but I won't have the time.
I'll give you 2 minutes and then I'll rebut you in one.
Yes. Take for instance, Kellan Sugar Factory. That's a big white elephant, and nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. And there's so many other things. I heard a gentleman mentioning about what Saturday 6, Saturday 7. Nobody, you said you know who do it. And people were charged. But you're right, you know who do it. Okay? And there's so many other things. Let's talk about the Amaya Fall. We talk about Sip Motila who got money. We talk about so many things. So many things I can mention. But you guys see the rice industry. Right? The failure of the rice industry. Okay? Hello?
Good, I'm listening. I didn't want to interrupt you.
The rice industry with the Venezuela, with the rice deal. You guys know it was coming to an end. But it so happened that it came to an end under this administration, and it's looking as though this administration ended it.
Okay, good. So, with that person talking about us being one-sided, we didn't close down Skeldon. Skeldon has fixable problems. Skeldon has an issue because this administration promised people that they're going to bring back sugar to a position where all will enjoy the good life. This time they close half the estate. Rice, 300 containers of rice left on the wharf. President Granger said, ain't he business, this is private concern. Good. Fip Motilal, yes, the road was going. We didn't stop on Milo Falls. Is this administration that stopped the Milo Falls project? This administration, and I'll continue to criticize them because look at the growth we have had in the 23 years. Take something from nothing. Everything broke down. Lowest level of rice production, lowest level of sugar production, lowest level of bauxite production, lowest level of gold production. And economically, all of them things went up. Canada was poised for takeoff. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Mr. Nadir, how you do?
I can't complain. How about you?
Okay, now, well, I'm fine. I'm looking at your program. This is not the first time, but it's a good program. But
Thank you.
I think what is lacking
Mm-hmm.
is reality,
Go ahead.
Reality and truth. I mean, the truth shall set everybody free, right?
Truth.
Truth, yeah, the truth. I mean, truth, yeah, truth shall set everyone free. Now, let me hit the right nail.
Good.
I think you are competent enough to have your own party. You understand? I think so. What is the position with you were in UF? Was it UF, United Force?
Mm-hmm.
Why? You should have continued the party. You are competent enough. You're supposed to align or, more or less collate, so to speak. Collate is not the right word, but align.
Mm-hmm.
You should have your own thing. You're competent enough. You understand?
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Yes.
I think Jack Deere is a great leader and I back him a lot.
No.
Unreservedly.
Let me say this. You have more experience than everyone of them. That's what I'm saying. You in the system longer than them.
Thanks for putting me as a veteran, but
Yeah.
I don't want the same criticism like people like James Patterson and Noel Holder. You see all them gray hair, right? Good. Listen, we got very competent, young, vibrant, professional people. We saw them in court the last couple of days. Those of us who went through and got that experience, we could do a little guidance. Well, come on, we should enjoy little golden years.
You say to me that you prefer to be a consultant then?
No, I prefer to.
Yeah, because if you don't want to take the lead, but then maybe you are a consultant or you want to be a consultant. It's not a bad idea, but I think personally that you are competent enough
Thank you.
to run your own show.
No, but we have an opportunity to serve. There are many boards, a lot of us who have had the experience in government, the experience in politics, the experience in business. We serve on a lot of boards, right? And make a contribution in that regard. Also, I feel issues like this, exchanges like this, like these that we have, the radio program, the interface with people, the community outreaches, can also help provide information, guidance, and upliftment. Thanks for the confidence vote.
Last but not least,
Go ahead.
Let me just put this to you. I think personally, you should step aside and set up your own thing. Personally, in my opinion, right?
No, sir. Thank you. Good.
Welcome, right.
Great. Okay, so thanks for the vote of confidence, but I've declared myself. We have a great leader in President Jack Deere, and he has a lot still to offer this country. Hi, go ahead. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is Mr. President Jack Deere going for the next president in Guyana?
No, he's not.
Okay, so who would be the...
That's been declared almost months ago. The presidential candidate is Irfan Ali. The Honorable.
Irfan Ali?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I already decided that, but I still feel,
Mm-hmm.
right, we should get together and get somebody better than Irfan Ali. Why Mr. Jack Deere refused Mr. Ralph Ramkaran grandson?
I don't think he was a candidate when the PPP considered their
Not a
nominees.
candidate, but he proposed to him.
I don't think Mr. Ramkaran sons were in any of the running, right?
And
No,
they ran in.
no.
Okay, so
Okay.
maybe he's not having experience to...
No, I think the PPP has a process. Let's explain that process, right?
Okay. Like a
And
casino have a course, same word you use,
Mhm.
have it, and any business place have it,
right.
right? So,
So we have to respect the PPP's right to go through their process, and out of that process,
the way I realize you praise Mr. Jack Deere, you never praise Mr. Chedi Jagan, which is the founding leader for this party, right? And I feel our country going to a serious crisis if we don't look there, right? Because if all the government going forward, they talk about, they clamp down on crime, right? But the way to clamp down on crime, right? We got to get trade the human rights in our country.
No, wrong way. Okay, so let's take a few more calls. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I want to quote three things.
Go ahead.
The healthcare, the protection, and education-wise. Three things. Do you think is accurate right now?
The healthcare, the education system, and
The protection, the police force, right? Is it working for the people? Then you get the hospital. If we can go, we paying the after 14% VAT. We paying it, right? Is it safe? The after 40% VAT, is the police protection safe for the country? The accent, education-wise, is this education-wise we children them? Tell me.
I think lots more could be done. With the monies that they have had to spend, they could have done a lot more with that money, right? So yes, I'm not satisfied like you.
No, this is the three things that the people need.
Good. So I take that from you as part of the issues we have to tackle. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. You're on the air.
Good evening, sir. I think listening to you just now, we need to respect the Chinese people for being reasonably intelligent. And I think that's one of the things that you see not to do, because when you talk about 23 years, I just want to reiterate the fact.
Go ahead.
If people is going to come together and vote you out of office, it has to be that you wasn't doing something right. According to you were saying everything was done right, but the people somehow the other hated PDP. And for the sugar industry, I heard Mr.
Okay, we can do that debate if you want to do a one-on-one. We could do that debate, and then we take 15 minutes on that debate. But I didn't say everything was done right. I said it was better. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening. Don't mind which party run our country. It would never go better because it's your thief messing up this freaking country.
Okay, you got to watch your words. Hi, good evening. Hold no bars. You're on the air.
Yeah, good night.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have all these questions, right?
Go ahead.
And I have no answer, and you don't call this program, and you can't answer me on it.
Okay.
Maybe you can't blame me.
No. The issue is, hold no bars. You have to say it like you see it. I am a politician. Me want to get totally accused. I just tell you at the beginning of the program how I feel, right? But I will answer you. Police needs to be mobile. The response time. The 911, they promise to work. If you're in Mabruma, you call 911, it's ringing in Georgetown. By the time they get back to Mabruma, people don't disappear, everybody dead, right? Hospital, the issue of drugs, how people treat you, people dying those are issues which still, after billions of dollars being spent, we still can't get half right. We can't get paradise here, but at least we should always be doing better tomorrow than today. And we haven't been doing better. And to the person who called and said everything was going right, we didn't say so. But people could come and fool you. They could come and tell you get $9,000 a bag for paddy, that you'll get $6,000 a day in the sugar estate, that we're going to cut the VAT. You cut the VAT by 1% and raise 200 other taxes. That's what we're talking about. Yes, 5,000 persons more voted for the coalition. I think it's 207,000 the coalition get, the PPP get 202,000. You want to tell me that the 202,000 people and their families don't have a say, don't have a right? And so is that little small margin, yeah, we wouldn't have done everything right, but some of the promises that people get lured with, right, shift that. And I guarantee you, for the money the coalition has spent, over $1 trillion Guyana, that's a lot of money. What do we have to show for it? I'll tell you what, we got a few overpasses on the East Bank Road. Yeah, we can see that. We see a couple of buildings go up in housing areas without police stations go up, and the police have refused to answer the telephone. Education, we're supposed to be doing better. We're supposed to have a math program to lift the math passes from 33% to 50%. It didn't happen yet. So I don't want to sound like if I totally am doom and gloom. Some things have happened. A couple of roads in the city have been paved and maintained, a few. But what happened throughout the whole country? What happened to Lethem, the person who went to Lethem? We start paving roads in Lethem. We didn't make it to town, but we started paving it. We started handing out lands, the industrial estate, the commercial zone, the Rupununi Rodeo site. Right? So these are some of the issues, and I would love that caller to bring him on 15 minutes, let him call me, he has my cell number. We could arrange a one-on-one, right? And he could put his fair side and I could put my fair side. And then you will see who faring better. But we have only about 3 minutes remaining on the program. Operator is giving us back 7 minutes because we had a late start. So let's see if we can take 5 callers.
Hello, good day. Hold no bars.
You're on. Hold no bars.
Manzoor Nadir, you guys come after the 14 years and you talk to.
So people don't like hearing the truth. So keep it safe, partner, next time you come on. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Nadir.
Good evening.
I want to know, you have the on East Bank where you have the elevator and the overhead, right?
Right.
What I want is to know, is the elevator being operated by electricity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have frequent blackouts, what happens?
I think there was solar, and some person stole some of the solar panels from a couple of them.
Okay, because I want to know if it's this GPL they're using and you're being stuck in the elevator.
Yeah.
Because
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. In fact, I commend that idea. In fact, I did write for those who feel I should come off the air when that idea was being put. I did write commending the initiative, but the electricity is an issue we have to deal with. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll stop taking callers when a number don't show up. And that person, I don't want to tell you what you should do, but hey, have some respect for yourself, right? Ignorance will get you one place only. Be more ignorant. But operator is signaling me that we should wind down. 90 seconds. We take one last call. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hello, good night.
Good evening.
Now, I want to find out, right?
Tell me.
Now, which country a plane could come and land and nobody could investigate it?
Mm-hmm.
Like what used to happen before.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want to know. You tell me which country that used to happen.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know about planes landing and nobody investigating it, right? I don't know about that. When planes are landing in your country, there are procedures. If people are smuggling drugs and things like that, it's happening now, it's happening then, it's happening all over the Bahamas and every place. It happened, right? But there's a person who has been abusive. He's calling back again. But Chief, I don't want to threaten you but just keep your mouth clean if you want to call this program. Good. But it's been a great program this Friday evening, the first Friday in this holy month of Ramadan. And those of you who have been fasting, again, my greetings to you, and continue to keep all of the fast. From the studios of MTV, our operator, and from myself, thanks for calling in and being part of the program. And let me wish you all the best for the remaining few hours of May 10th, 2019. In about 22 minutes' time, we'll be celebrating the 4th anniversary of the coalition government coming to office. Good night.